Namaste to all of you. I'm actually taking some time to get started because a number of you had actually contacted me just within the hour to be registered, and so I was trying to get all of you registered and didn't get a chance to send you the instructions, and so you had been calling me to see. I hope that you are all watching and you're able to get to this. If well, no, there's no way. If you're not here, then I cannot talk to you but I sent you a couple of emails saying that Chandra Dulam can be contacted, and so hopefully you were already able to do so. Anyway, my namaskar to you on starting this new class that I'm also very excited about. It's a very large class. There are 75 people now registered, and it is much more than I expected. So I'm happy that this topic has resonated with you, and that you are also looking forward to it as much as I am. So I'm very happy about that. So, starting a new class, which I do every year or two or so, I've been doing this for the last 20 years, is like buying a new car. And the reason I say that is because in a car a model that you have not had before, I mean, if you are a Honda Accord and you just get a new one, then it's probably not that much of a change. But if you change the model number, for example, about 3 years ago, I got a BMW 530e, which is a hybrid. And it was a new car for me, and so the whole plug-in hybrid was a new concept, and I had to get used to it. It was exciting how much mileage I can get out of it, and I tried it out and so on and so forth. So, I think starting a class is something like that, where it's a new setup, and you are also trying to find out the teacher and the teaching as to what it's like, especially the new people. And just to give you an idea, and I'll go over that in a minute, half of you are new to me. So really about 50% are brand new to me, and other 50% have been with me for a long time. So I'm really talking about those 50% people who have no experience in being with me. You will certainly be looking at it and saying, does this guy know what he's talking about? And so on. And I'll go over this topic in a minute. It's a very important topic on how to approach this teaching. So I'll spend some time on it. It's very possible that we may not have time to really start the teaching of Purusha Suktam today. We'll see how we go, because there are some things to talk about before we get there. So in this online setup, this is an interesting setup, because this is not how the traditional Vedanta is taught. My Guru, Swami Dayanandji, for example, would never think about some kind of a telephone call or even a television call. At those days, I was wondering how he would do today. But it was very interesting that no matter how big the class is, he found a way to make eye contact with everybody in the hall. And I still remember this. He will start, and before he would even begin, even open his mouth, he will just do this. He would do this for like a couple of minutes. And I think there is a reason for it. that in this kind of teaching, this is not the normal teaching. There needs to be a bond between the teacher and the student, and that bond is difficult to maintain in this online setup. You can certainly see me and you can hear me and all that, but then I don't have the advantage of looking at you, at least the new ones. I know the people that have been with me for a long time. So this is one of the reasons that what I would like to do is to get to know you as much as possible, whatever you're willing to share with me. And some of you have given me a very good idea about your background and where you came from and so on, and some have not. And so if you decide to stay, then I would very much like to have a kind of a email or sometimes even a telephone link with you, so that an idea of possibly with a picture also as to who you are, what your aspirations are, what your experience is, and so on. Because the teaching is really for people, for human beings. It is not just something that I teach and then I'm done with. No. There has to be a lot of dialogue. Dialogue is very much part of the Vedantic teaching. In the case of Bhagavad Gita, which is the most popular Vedantic teaching, it's a big dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. Doubts and clarifications, objections, and encouragements, and all that is part of the teaching itself. And that is difficult to do in an online setup. So I'm certainly hamstrung with that. Be that as it may, what I would like to give you are a couple of requests from your end, and then we can go forward with this. So one request I would have is that when you are watching this 1 hour segment, maybe 1 hour 15 minutes with question answers and so on, try to focus on just the class. I would really request you not to do multitasking, where you are maybe sending some emails on the side and saying, oh yes, what was he saying again? That will not work. There are a number of reasons for it, but for now my request is to silence your cell phone and avoid doing multitasking. If you're the only one watching, then please close the doors and tell your family that I am going to be very busy in the next hour. And if there's two of you watching, your spouses or mother and son or something like this, then both of you don't talk to each other, just listen to me. So this much courtesy I think you should do, which would allow you to kind of have a connection with me in the teaching. So the other thing I would say is that if you like the teaching, if it resonates with you, then please let me know that. Because that's one way to draw the connection. I'll say, well, good, that person, I was able to reach out to that person. This is one thing. If you think you are not really getting much out of it, then I have one request from you. Kindly send me an email saying, thank you very much, but this is not for me. And I will take you off of the registration list. That's all. No hurt feelings or anything like that. It's a very practical thing. I do not want, because I'm going to be sending you periodically some emails, some bulletins about the class and so on. And if you're already not there, then it would seem like, why is he sending it to me? And people don't have they just don't want to bother anyone. But please do it. If you want to turn off, just let me say, Vijayji, I would like to not attend the class. Wonderful. Okay. So I think that is the only thing that I would ask you in order to enhance the online nature of the class, which is number one, please do send me at your own leisure some information about yourself, and then also do communicate with me both positively and negatively. Okay, let's move ahead to the next point. So in this class, I have not really bothered about asking for your eligibility. And in Vedanta, there's only one thing that we are asked to do as teachers, which is not to teach to someone who doesn't want to learn. It's very important. Absolutely. And on the other hand, if someone is interested, do not hesitate to extend yourselves to teach to that person. So I have not had any strict eligibility. I'm going to be starting another class in about 3 months or so on Brahma Sutra. There I'm going to have a much more strict eligibility. So that's a separate issue altogether. But for Purusha Suktam, I just decided to send out a flyer to people and generally ask for word of mouth. And I'm so happy really that so many of you have really registered. I was thinking that if I can get 20 new people, then that would be terrific. Because the people that I've been teaching for a while, they know what it is. You know, we have different variations on the same theme. But I would very much like to share this with people that have not seen this sampradaya, this Advaita sampradaya that comes down from Adi Shankara, and I've been taught, and so on and so forth. This is what I'm going to be talking about. And so I would like to share that with people. And if they are in tune with it, they will stay. If they are not in tune with it, they will not stay. Okay. Having said that, there are 3 gunas that we should be aware of. This is very well pointed out by Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita in the 14th chapter. The entire 14th chapter is about the 3 gunas: tamasam, rajasam, and sattva. Sattva guna, rajasa guna, and tamasa guna. So with respect to the learning of Purusha Suktam, we should see how the 3 gunas apply and apply it to yourself. Apply it to yourself and evaluate yourself as to where you are. So let me just give you some of the propensities of the 3 gunas. Tamasic guna, which I don't expect anybody will in this class will have, means you don't know Purusha Suktam and you don't care. There is something there, we have heard about it, especially if you're a Hindu, how can you have not heard about it? But is nothing really there's nothing excites you, there's nothing about it. And if you do, you don't know how to chant properly. That's another thing. I have seen so many chants where the swaras are not chanted properly, and they think that they are doing it, but it is not. That is tamas. That is tamasic. Okay, so that's number 1. When it comes to rajasic, rajasic means you are excited about learning Purusha Suktam, excited about chanting Purusha Suktam. A lot of that comes from tradition. People that are used to going to temples and see the events, they are really eager to chant, eager to chant in groups, and they hear the pandit, the priest, talk. They're really very exciting. This is a Rajasic one. We are not that interested in the meaning of it. And if they are interested in meaning, then they might know some of the meaning of from Sanskrit to English. Sahasra Purushaha. Sahasra Purusha means one that Sahasra paths and Sahasra. So 1,000 ears, 1,000 eyes, 1,000 heads, and so on. You know the English of it, and it's nice. 1,000 means something, so you know that. Beyond that, you don't know. This is the Rajasic guna that can excite you about Purusha Suktam. Okay? And in the beginning, you have to transfer over from tamas to rajas. I remember when we learned this in I'll tell you more about a little bit about my history, but this was in 1979. No, 78 or so, anyway. When we were at the ashram and we started learning this. It was very exciting. To be able to chant the swaras was so pleasing. That was so wonderful. All the Vedic chants with swaras really does do something to you. And so we all experienced it. It was wonderful. But at that time, we didn't know the meaning of it and so on. We knew some English meanings, but this is Rajasic. Then comes Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna means you now have to close your eyes and understand what it really means. Why is it important for you? What does it do to me? Why should I learn it? What are the advantages? And this has to be done in a very quiet, personal way. So this is the Sattva Guna aspect of learning Purusha Suktam. You can guess it. This class is all about Sattva Guna. I'm going to assume that you know how to chant, and I will chant it from time to time. I will assume that you know some of the meanings, and if not, then we will go over some of the meanings. Not some, but the sentence meaning and the word meaning. We will do all of that. But really speaking, we have to think about what it means to me. And we'll talk much more about this. Is it about Ishvara? The creation of the world by Ishvara? Not sure. Is there a higher meaning to that? Maybe. So we have to look into that, and it takes a long time to get to know that aspect of Purusha Suktam, and to study a lot, which I'll tell you about all of this, and then you can aspire for it. It's a question of, just to complete the topic about eligibility and qualification. So that you will see yourself. If you are just happy with chanting and chanting accurately, which is not easy. Just chanting accurately itself is an accomplishment. And some meaning of it, and you don't want to go any more than that, then you are not the true Shishya for this class. Recently I was asked to give a talk on Adi Shankara's 4 Shishyas, Padmapadacharya, Totakacharya, Hastamalakacharya ji, and Sureshwaracharya ji. And so I did some research on it and read up on it and thought about it and composed a 45-minute talk, which I just recently gave as part of the Advaita Academy series on Advaita, on Adi Shankara. And one of the things it evoked in me was the teaching by my Guru Swami Dayanandji. It's interesting. He used to say, sometimes some student will say casually, Swamiji, you know, that person comes to the class, but I don't think he's a good student. And this was actually done in the case of Totakacharya also. Totakacharya, the other people thought this guy never studies and all he does is just do the Guru Seva, and how can he be a good student? He's not a very good student. Anyway, I'm diverging. But Swami Dayanand used to say, please don't use the word good student or not good student. So we used to wonder, why? How is he saying that? Of course there's a good student. One who understands is a good student. One who doesn't understand is not a good student. Swamiji said, you are either a student or you are not a student. And he explained this in great detail. So, the word in English called student in Sanskritam is called shishya. And the word shishya means shiksha yogya. The yogyata for shiksha is important, not just sitting in class and listening. If you don't mind, I'll spend a couple of more minutes to explain to you with my own personal experience. When I was much, much younger, in the 1960s, I was a student of computer science at Berkeley in 1964-65. Just as I was ready to graduate from college, I still had about 3 or 4 months to go. My advisor, Dr. Wartenberg, came to me and he said, you know, I have an interesting project for you. This is not like a PhD dissertation, but it's a master's level dissertation, which will take you an extra semester. We were on a semester system. And you will have to delay your graduation by 1 semester. But here's the thing. Your teacher for this dissertation is going to be Dr. Donald Glaser. And Dr. Donald Glaser, this is in 65. Dr. Donald Glaser had won the Nobel Prize for the bubble chamber, which I knew nothing about, and I still don't. But all I knew was that he had won the Nobel Prize. I jumped at it. I said, that'll be wonderful. I'd love to do that. So I met Dr. Glaser, and he said, very, very happy. You are from the EE department, computer science. It was a pattern recognition issue with some of the E. coli. So he says, yeah, I'm looking forward for some help. So please start on this, and I'll meet with you tomorrow, and so on. So I was so excited that I asked him, Dr. Glaser, you have a number of graduate level physics courses. May I attend some of those? So he kind of smiled at me and said, okay, sure, come. So he says, there's a class tomorrow. You can audit it. I took my paper and pencil, and I was so excited. This is something I really want to learn. What I found was that in this class of maybe 25 people or so, I was all excited. I did not get much out of it. It was much higher level. And not only not me, but out of 25 people, I would say about 15 to 18 people were also just taking notes for passing exams and so on. But the rest of the 7-8 people, they were in tune with Dr. Glaser. And how do you know they were in tune? Because they were nodding. Yes. And they were saying, no, doctor, that doesn't make any sense to me. May I ask you a question, please? So says, sure. They were discussing. And we were all sitting there just kind of watching this show going on. So I would say that out of the 25 people, maybe 7, 8, maybe 10 people were Shishyas. The rest, so this is what is meant by student. The rest of them were just followers of the class. And I think in the classes that I teach, I find the same thing. There are people who are interested, they are very regular, they take notes, but they don't ask any questions. I'm not sure it is clear to them. They're happy with just doing what they're doing. But there are a few people, from their mannerisms, from their way of tuning into me and so on, I can tell they are Shishyas. And Shishyas means they have Shiksha Yogyata, they have eligibility. So I invite you, with all the attention that you can muster, to become a Shishya. And if you are not there, don't worry, there'll be a next time somewhere. So I'm hoping to communicate that with you, and let's hope that happens. In fact, that leads me to our opening prayer. So for the first few times, after the opening prayer, we will do the Purusha Suktam chanting, maybe 5 or 6 times, so we get the hang of it. After that, I think we can do it on our own. But the opening prayer will be chanted on all the classes. And it's a very simple one. You all know this pretty much, I'm sure. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadhi Tamastu Mavidvishavahai. In fact, let's do this. Let's chant it with swaras a couple of times, 2 times. Okay, so if you know it, then you can just chant with me. Otherwise, you just listen. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this prayer is an important prayer meant specifically for a classroom study between a teacher and a student. So it uses the dual grammar rule in the saying that, O Ishvara, please protect us both. Om Sahanau Avatu. Avatu means to protect. Avatu is the same dhatu that has Om. Om is also derived from Ava, protection. So the Om is the one which really protects us. So here, this is Ishvara, a prayer to Ishvara saying, Om Sahanau Avatu. So please protect us. Not only protect us, Sahanau Bhunaktu. Please allow us to progress forward. Swami Dayanand used to say that, when you're playing soccer or any other team like that, hockey or something, there are 2 things involved, defense and offense. So the coach can tell his students, make sure no one scores against you. That is Avatu. And make sure you score against them. That is Bhunaktu. So he used to say that. So Avatu means may you make sure that some some wrong things don't interrupt our teaching. And may we have the capability of progressing. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavabhai. May both of us really become good at understanding what is being talked about. Both of us. And so I often say that, I said that in my flyer, that I really also gain as much as the student do, because it brings up the subtlety of the topic for me to enjoy one more time. So Saha Viryam Karavabhai, then Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavabhai Tejasvinau Vadhitamastu. May we remember and apply what we are learning in our lives. May we learn, and may that learning stay with us. So this is the other one. And the last one is very interesting. Ma vidvisha vahai. May the two of us not quarrel with each other. So the question is, where is the question of quarrel? This is a very nice class. I don't have anything against you. You don't have anything. There's nothing to quarrel about. So why is it being talked about? So our teachers have said there are doubts that can occur in the minds of both the student and the teacher. And the prayer to Ishvara is, may we both set aside those doubts, and please don't allow us to interrupt and sully our minds. So for example, you can have a doubt, this guy is from North India, Vijay Kapoor, and Kapoors are good for films, but how is he teaching us Purusha Suktam? He's got a fair skin. Is he really up to it? I don't know. You can have a doubt. I have a hard time getting into temples in South India because people will say, no, you're not an Indian. So we used to carry a certificate by Swami Dayanandji in Tamil, and he will say, Vijay Kapoor and his wife Pammi Kapoor have been studying with me for so long. Make sure you admit them. So they'll say, okay, go. And so this can be a doubt. Are you sure this guy knows about Purusha Suktam? Only time will tell. But for the time being, set aside those doubts. Reversely, I can have a doubt about you. And really speaking, and that doubt has some possible validity. Let me tell you what that would be. This is going to be viewed from the standpoint of Advaita Vedanta. I've already told you this, and I'm going to repeat this, and our teaching will be on. This is a very important topic, and I will repeat this, but I'm just bringing it up at this point, 8:32. Just very briefly bringing it up at this point. So the half of the class that have been studying with me for the last several years, some of them for the last 15, 17, 18 years, their mindset is Advaita Vedanta. And the reason I think that they are taking this class is they also are great bhaktas. They also go to temples. They may or may not know how to chant this very accurately, but they want to learn. Because they see the priest chanting, they see every time there is some kind of a big religious event, Purusha Suktam, Chamakam, Rudram, and a few others are chanted, and they love it. So the Vedantic students also want to expand their horizon to learn Purusha Suktam. Okay? Now, The other half we're not sure of. We're not sure to what degree you know Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. Vedanta is Advaita Vedanta. That you have a love for Purusha Suktam, but in a mindset which is not Advaita. Could be Dvaita. The Dvaita really here means that you see Ishvara as being separate from you. This is what I mean by you pray to Ishvara. You cannot pray to someone unless that person is not you. You cannot pray to yourself. You cannot pray to yourself. If I can interrupt, Swami Maheshananji made a very interesting point in the study of we just finished a class on Dakshinamurti Stotram. We took like a year and a half, maybe two, almost like, I think about a year and a half. And so that is also a Suktam. So Suktam means it's an encomium, it's a praise. It's a praise to Ishvara. So Swami Maheshananji said, you praise someone in comparison to someone who is better than you. Because the praise means, my God, you are, this is what this happens. There's a boy who's maybe 10 years old, and he takes on a class bully. So there's a class bully, and this 10-year-old boy, no one dares to challenge a bully. Bullies are usually very strong and they can have their way around. But this 10-year-old boy, this bully was bothering some young guy, and he just took up to him. He says, no, you cannot do that anymore. Okay, I'll fight with you. And the bully hopefully backed down and didn't have a fight. But this legend of the boy who took on a bigger bully, became famous. And so when he came back, his parents found out about it. His uncles found out about it. The uncle said, my goodness, you are like a lion. You're not afraid of anyone. Amazing. This is a praise. So a lion means he's not a lion, but he is like a lion. So Swami Maheshananji says, now you're praising Ishvara, who is the best there is already. How are you going to praise him? You're going to, like you're saying, you are like a lion. So you're going to say, Ishvara, you're like Ishvara. It doesn't make any sense. So Swami Maheshananji says the Suktam means, O Ishvara, I hope to understand more about your glory. This is what my praise would be. I've heard a lot about you, but I don't get it. We'll talk much. This is a very important topic. We'll spend a lot of time on this later on when we get going. So here also it means that a Suktam means that I don't know the inside of the glory of Purusha Suktam. So it's very possible that you may not yet understand what Advaita Vedanta is, but I cannot hold that against you. I will do my best. It's very possible that you may need more background, more training, and so on and so forth, but I will just do the best I can, and hopefully you will understand. So that could be a kind of a misunderstanding. In other words, you can have a fear that what is this North Indian doing something about Purusha Suktam to us South Indians. You can have a valid doubt. I can have a valid doubt that what are these guys going to understand about Advaita Vedanta, because they don't know anything about it. So this prayer says, O Ishvara, please help us to set aside those doubts. We are here for a purpose. Let us get on it. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but it is not because I'm bringing out these doubts every few minutes. That's the purpose of this prayer. Oh my gosh, I have have we lost connection? Can someone call me? Because it says that we have lost connection. Let me call Chandra. Are we on? Okay, because it says that you lost connection with the Mevo. Okay, all right, good. I'm going to go on then. Super, thank you. Everything is okay. I saw something on my iPod that you lost connection, so I was a little worried. Second. Yes, Zarina.
We can hear you clearly.
And see me also. Okay, all right, thanks. Okay, let's move on to the next side of it. Normally when I start a class, we have an introduction to everyone. Everyone stands up and talks a little bit about themselves, and I do too. We cannot have that. So let me do this in the remaining time. We have only about 20 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more. We may not be able to do Purusha Suktam chanting. We'll have to do that next time. But let us do some mutual introductions. All I can do for you is to read out the names of people who have registered and possibly tell them where they are from if you have told me. So this is about 75 people. This will take us about 5 minutes or so. Then I'll tell you a little bit about myself, my background, and so on. Okay, so this is what the rest of the class will be. And then I think we'll have to delay the teaching, which we will begin very quickly the next week, 1 week from now. So the following people and the area that they are from have registered, and I'm going to do this alphabetically. In some cases you have not told me where you are from, or so you can please do that later on, but for now let me tell you about what I know. Starting with alphabetically in the beginning, Vandana Agarwal is watching us from Texas, so she's 2 hours ahead of us. Sushila Agni lives in Sydney, Australia. I believe she is still in Sydney. She used to be. I would like to find out more about her. I've known her for a while, and she moved to Australia, back to Australia, and so she's in this class. Sashi Aluru from the Bay Area. Then Gajananan Oren Bergman from Fremont. Panna Bhuva from the East Bay somewhere, either Fremont or I think she's from Fremont. Subroto Bose from Fremont. Shantikumar Chiluka from Hyderabad, India. Keshav Chopra, not sure where Keshav is from. Keshav, you can please write to me. Jaya and Surinder Chowdhury from the Bay Area, long-time students of ours, excellent lovers of music, you probably know. Akshay and Shobha Dalal, who have 2 residences, one in Burlingame, California, where they are cloistered for the time being, and also near Boston. So they have 2 residences. Kalpana and Bharat Dave from San Jose, longtime students of mine. Sujata Dave, who has moved to Chicago. She used to be here, but she won't see this program tonight. She will have to do that tomorrow. Anjali Deshmukh from Cupertino, long-time student. Ronnie Goyal from Saratoga, California. And Swami Ganapati, who's been with me for about a year and a half. And a new person, Kaushalya Ganapati. I don't think they are related because their last names are different, one with an Y and one with an I. Welcome, Kaushalya. Then Jyoti and Anand Gundu. They are very much associated with the Livermore Temple, and they live somewhere in the East Bay, I'm not sure where. Shruti Harve from the Bay Area. Chawla Joshi from San Jose, long-time student. Srinivas Kadiyala from Sunnyvale, California. Zarina Kaji, who was just on the phone, long-time student from Los Gatos. Praveen Kalasabale, a very active person in Aim for Seva from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Praveen. Priya Kasturi from the Bay Area. Jugal and Bimla Kishore from Pleasanton, California. Rama Koganti, I hope I'm pronouncing, I think I'm going to have some options in pronunciation later on, from the Bay Area. Shobha Lal. Oh, also just happened just a few minutes ago, Surya Narayanan Konduri is here. Lathi Devayani Lathi, or Lathi, I'm not sure, Bay Area. Sulochana Lulla from the Bay Area. And then Vanita and Govindan Mohan, who have been long-time students of ours, very active in the temples as well, from the Bay Area. A new person by the name of Shivanarayana Nagireddy from the Bay Area. Then Surekha and Prakash Nair from Cupertino. Gee, I've known them for a number of years. A new person, Kanaka Nallabottu from the Bay Area. Shankar Narsiman, who has been a student of mine for a long time and very closely associated with the Livermore Temple. And while I have his name, I need to make an apology. I don't hope to forget it. I mentioned to you that I'm sending a appendix 2 of a book written by Swamiji. I thought it was from Chinmaya Mission in Bengaluru. It turns out it is from Ramakrishna Mission. So it is my mistake, Shankar. And thank you for facilitating that for us. Similarly, Chris Narayan also has been attending classes with me for a number of years and very closely associated with the Shiva Vishnu Temple. Priya Nair from Pleasanton. Nirupama. Nirupama, I don't have your last name, so if you could kindly send me that. And her son Sri Ram are both in this class. Padmini Kumar, who is stuck in India for the time being, long-time student of ours, is here. Subbu Padmanabha, a new person from Bay Area. Similarly, Rajasagara Panamgipalli, I hope I can pronounce that correctly, from the Bay Area. Then Vijaya, either Parakala or Parakala, not sure how to pronounce it, a new person in the Bay Area. Radhika Patibandla, beautiful name, also from the Bay Area. Mary Penn from San Francisco. Jitendra Pangurlekar, not sure where he's from, a new person. Brenda Powers from Alameda, California, Welcome, Brenda. Sangeeta and Arun Rajanala. Arun has been attending my classes for a long time, and I believe Sangeeta is his wife. And welcome, Sangeeta. Aruna Ramalu from East Coast. I'm not sure where you are at the moment, in some city somewhere. You used to be in Chicago also. So welcome, Aruna. Sampath Ranganath in San Jose. Srinivas Rao, Neelam Sethi, and Hitesh Shah, all from the Bay Area. Then Vikram Shankar from Austin, Texas. He used to be in this area, but then he moved and he was very happy to go on the online class. Vasanthi Shinoy and Arkal Shinoy from San Diego, California are as part of this course. Vita Skoblikov, a long-time student of ours, is here. Rajesh Sridhar, also from San Jose, a long-time student. Thyagu Srinivasan from San Jose, someone new. Chakra Shivatsa, who I have known even though he is a great devotee of Swami Paramarthananda, but we have not connected until this class, so I'm very happy to have Chakra in this class. Biji Suthar or Suthar, not sure about the pronunciation, from the Bay Area, new person. Then Swami Ganapati, I think I've already mentioned his name, so I think I'm doing this twice anyway. Arvind Taylor from the Bay Area. Then Sumati Anant and Ananthan Thandri, who used to be here a long time ago, have now moved to Portland, Oregon. So they are, this is one of the advantages of doing an online class. They can join us for that. Vinayak Thambre from the Bay Area. Raj Velpuri, someone new. Shantha Varadarajan, also I believe from the Bay Area, someone new. And finally Sri Krishnan Venkataraman, also I'm not sure from where, from this area. So this is a full list of 75. Very happy to get to know all the new people. I'm really delighted about that. And if you could send me a little bit more information about yourself, that would complete my pleasure, if you may. Okay, where are we? 8:51. So I think that leaves just enough time for me to introduce myself, just about 8 or 9 minutes, and then I will be happy to take some questions from you, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So I was actually born in a very religious home in Amritsar, Punjab. My grandparent, my Nanaji, my mother's father, was a teacher of Vedas and tried very hard to get me to listen, but I didn't understand anything and I would refuse to do that. So I just grew up as a normal free bird without any commitment to religion or anything like that. But you know, the samskaras were there with me. When I came to this country in 1964, the one thing that I had a lot of reverence for was Bhagavad Gita. Even though I didn't quite understand it, but I thought that I would really read it. And I tried to do it a few times, but it didn't make much sense to me. In 1973, my life changed. When I went to San Francisco, I used to live in Los Gatos at that time, to listen to Swami Chinmayananji. And I guess I was ready, because it didn't take me that long to just say, oh my God, I cannot believe what myself is all about. And I was just wonderstruck. I didn't want to even move from there. And really my whole life, my whole thinking changed as a result of Swami Chinmayananji's teaching. And I followed him for 3 years. Went to every one of his jnana yajnas in the area, helped to put them and so on. Then in 1976, something even drastic change occurred to me when I met Swami Dayanand, because Swami Chinmanand could not come to the US because of some political problems with Sanjay Gandhi and so on. And when I met Swami Dayanandji, he opened up a brand new vista for me. And the reason was that from a mumukshu, I became a jigyasu. And the difference is that Swami Chinmanand had already evoked in me a sense of, I want to get this. I want to understand, because I didn't quite get it, even though I had a feeling for what the self is. But I didn't know exactly how to do it. But Swami Dayanandji convinced me that this has a methodology of teaching through the Shastra. You have to go through the ABCs, very much like any advanced subject like physics. You have to go through mathematics, arithmetic, and this chemistry, etc. Then you take first college of physics, then you take higher physics, then you take higher physics. And our conversations were so definite that I said, I want to learn this. This is what is called a jigyasu. Gyatumichu. Jigyasu. And so I said, I must learn this. I'm very indebted to my wife Pammi, who was not a student, to have abdicated her life and came with me with the two kids. That in 1979 we went to a PRC ashram and studied this subject matter for 2.5 years, which is all the 4 or 5 major Upanishads that we could muster, and Bhagavad Gita, 4 sutras of Brahma Sutra, and a Paniniya Samskritam. And there's where we chanted also all the Purusha Suktam and so on every day for a year and a half. So it became a second nature for us. And this is where I got a good grasp of the fundamentals of Vedanta. So I would say my teaching guru was Swami Dayanandji. My inspiring guru was Swami Chinmanandji, but my teaching guru was Swami Dayanandji. And I stayed with Swami Dayanandji from 1976 to 2006. Then something funny happened even after that. And I say this because I was a householder and I could not follow Swami Dayanandji all over the world. He was in India. He was mostly in South. And I would go and visit him in Rishikesh once in a while. So my teaching with him came to a standstill. Whatever I had learnt for 2.5 years stood with me and very clear from his instructions. But it didn't grow on me. And it was a little frustrating, I must say, because I could not see the advantages of it as I should have seen. All that changed in the year 2006 when I was introduced to the teaching of Swami Maheshanandji from Shankara Mutt. And I had never even met Swami Maheshanandji. In fact, I think he had Mahasamadhi around the time that I found out about him from Swami Viditatmananda and Swami Tattvavidananda. Both of them said he is a great person. But what changed for me, I'll tell you this, is not only Swami Maheshanandji's teaching, but the way the teaching is preserved in books. First of all, his mother tongue is the same as mine, which is Hindi. And the Hindi that he wrote on was highly Sanskritized Hindi. And I could not have understood it unless my preparation with Swami Dayanandji had been done by that time. So it's not as though one is better than the other. They are just different rungs of the ladder. But anyway, since 2006, I have immersed myself deeply in the teaching of Swami Maheshanandji in his Sanskritized Hindi. I think I've read almost every one of his books, about 35 of them, some of them several times. So the Purusha Suktam, for example, I think I've read twice already. So he had a 2-volume set. By the way, I had never met him, but this is his picture, Swami, there from Swami Maheshananji so he had an ashram in Mount Abu, one in New Delhi, and a publication arm in Varanasi. And his books are famous for their accuracy, for their printing quality, and error-free. And so this is the 2-volume set on Purusha Suktam, where he gave 80 lectures, discourses in New Delhi, I believe in 1976, if I recall. I'm not sure of that, but somewhere in that time frame. It's 9 o'clock. And also he did not take all the verses of Purusha Suktam. He took about half the verses, the main ones that he saw. Other ones I will also finish, but I want to really concentrate on the main half of the Purusha Suktam where he commented on. Marvelous. Just on the 5th verse that we will see, so Sajato Atyarichyata Paschat, and so all of that, we will come to that later on. 250 pages of commentary on just this one verse. This is going to be my challenge. How do I make sure that I compress it in a short amount of time? He gave it in 80 discourses. I am committed to do that in 16, but I don't think I can finish it in 16. Might take a little bit more time. Anyway, so in summary, I think I've had 3 gurus, acharyas, Swami Chinmayananji, Swami Dayanandji, and Swami Maheshananji. And one was an inspiring guru, one was a teaching guru, and the third one was, I would call, an applications guru. I could now reform and transform my life based on the instructions and the experiences of his teachings to the householders. He's not teaching it to, he's just like Bhagavad Gita. He's not teaching it to sannyasis, although he is teaching to sannyasis. But he was saying to become a Jivan Mukta, this is what you need to do. This is how you have to behave. And so this kind of instruction I never had a chance to discuss that with Swami Dayanandji. Only it's not because he didn't know, but we never had a chance to interact. But his books now, Swami Maheshananji's books, are my everyday teacher. There is not a day goes by. I really think that the book that really put it all together for me was a 5-volume set that I started reading about 3 years ago on Panchadashi in Hindi. And I've already taught several classes, and if I had more time, this is what I would do. And never a day goes back without my reading that. A lot of respect for these gurus, just amazing. Anyways, a short introduction to myself, and of course I should just tell you that I'm a householder. So I have a wife who still has a business. She's an interior designer, and I'm very happy that she's working because money comes in and I don't have to work. I have 2 boys. One is married with 2 daughters. They live close by to me. And the other one has not yet married, but I think getting closer to it. And large family here. I'm completely independent financially and from the standpoint of responsibilities. And my great thanks to my wife, who lets me spend as much time as she complains about it, but she lets me spend as much time as I need for teaching, for meditating, for studying. very lucky person in that way. Anyway, so small introduction from me. So with that, I think our time is over, and I will close it with I will open up to see what the chat window is. If you have any questions, that I'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, I will see you next week. So we will always end with this small prayer. I think you all know this, but just in case you don't, I will send you a written version of that. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, let me fire up my laptop. Okay. We go through this list. Sorry, Andrea, I didn't put your, somehow I missed your name, and Ramanand. So I will do so. I probably missed a lot of names. Renu Daswani, I missed yours. Ila Joshi, I missed yours. So there's other people that I missed. Thandri family, Arvind Taylor, Maithili Ramakrishnan. Okay, I didn't. Mary Penn, Shanti Kumar. Padma Kumar Padmini. He says, Namaste Vijaji, the audio and video is very clear in Bengaluru. Wonderful. Happy to know that. Virendra Singh. Okay. Hi Virendra. Happy that you are there. Sulekha. A lot of people that I missed. I didn't have it there. Ganapati Swami. Govindan and Vanitha. Welcome. Shankar. Chawla. Ashok. I missed you too also. Gajananam, he says connection is fine. Sam Dillon, okay. You didn't include my names. Of course, I am sorry that I didn't. I know you, Sam. I'm very happy that you are on this class. So I will add you all. Hitesh Shah. This is my third class with this organization. It surely has been a life-changing for me. Wonderful. Suvarna Banjara. I didn't have your name as well. You and Bhaskar. Chandra Dulam says I haven't registered. Maithili. Eagerly looking forward to the classes. Raj Velapuri, is there any material that I need to download to follow in class? Raj, I probably didn't get a time to send you the links to the material that we have already put on. So I will do so now. Just give me another day. Excuse me, and I will add all the people that I missed and updated all the material, and I will send that to you tomorrow. So really that is the only reason to be registered, is that you get regular updates of any kind from you. So I will make sure that you are all here, and I don't see any questions about today's material, which I didn't expect you to. This was mostly an introduction. very, very happy that so many of you are tuned into this class. I think we'll have a lot of fun. So a lot of fun meaning also something very, very meaningful and applying to our lives, where we are going. This is a remarkable, you cannot be a mantra like Purusha Suktam that has been going on for literally tens of thousands of years, unchanged, without it having an extremely important message in our lives. Cannot be. Because it is not like just normal poetry that people like for a while and disappears. No. Very fundamental to our life. And it will be interesting to see what that vision, I think I said that in my flyer, that this is the vision of Purusha Suktam, and really it takes a Mahatma. I could not have figured this out. It takes a Mahatma to really bring it out very slowly and in a very comprehensive way. Marvelous. Oh, I should say one last thing to all of you. Okay? And please hear me sincerely. I say this with my sincerity. I would challenge you to one goal after you finish this course. Please find some victims and teach it to them. Please take some notes on your own. If you have to watch it a second time, please do it. But I think if you can convert this into a teaching material for others, two things will happen which will be wonderful. You will gain, because your preparation for teaching will strengthen your depth. You'll make it deeper. And you will also be able to teach it to a lot of others. Please do so. If out of the 70, 80 people, if I would say 20 people do it, and it doesn't have to be a big class, just collect 6 or 7 people and say, can I teach you Purusha Suktam? You can teach them the chanting, or they can learn that from someplace else. But teach them the vision applied within it. This will be, what a contribution it will be. So I challenge you to do so. I hope you are able to do so. So with that, I take your leave. I know I've gone over the time. Well, it's only 9:12. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Om.